All right, today's a new day, and we're going to glass the center section of our wing. Now, I only glass one side at a time because I like to make a nice, neat job of it. Now, what we're going to be using is this material right here. You get it at your Lowe's department stores. You can order it online. It costs between $6 and $10 a roll. It's 6 inches wide by 75 feet long. So one roll will last a long time. Cut that off. That's just a piece of tape. Now it's kind of got a sticky backing to it, which is really nice. Normally, if I was using just fiberglass that I bought from one of the fiberglass stores, I would spray my center section with some 3M77. Now, I want to mark my wing at 6 inches wide at the center section. Now, with that done, I'm going to take some tape and lay a boundary. Because I like to work neat. I don't like getting resin all over my wing. Now, yep, looking good. Now I'm going to take a piece, take my glass cloth, I'll lay it out and cut off how much I need. Turn my wing around. Cut off on either side of my pegs, just like that. Now, All right. That's good. Now, that's a lot wider than my fuselage, but I'm not worried because by the time I'm through with it, you won't even notice it. Now, so what do we need out here today? We need some paper towels. We need a cheap epoxy brush. Need a mixing cup, a stir cup, and our epoxy resin, which would be the West Systems 105 with the fast hardener 205. I'm using fast hardener because it's only about 50 degrees in the shop right now. So let's get the scales. And our mixing cup. Now, I don't know how much I need, so I'm just going to mix some up. And we'll go from there. However, I am going to measure it because I've got to get my parts. And it's one part of the, one part to 5 parts. So it's 1 part of this, 5 parts of this. And the stuff's kind of thick because the temperature out here is kind of cool. So I've got 20 grams of this. So therefore I'm going to mix up 4 grams of this. Okay. All right. I tell you, this West system is some really nice material to work with. First off, it's an epoxy. It's not a polyester resin. Epoxy just seems to be easier to work with than polyester resin. Plus, the fact is that, you know, I buy this about a quart can. And hell, a quart can lasts me for a long, long time. I can do a lot of airplanes with a quart. Now, you notice I'm not getting in a great big hurry because the resin is not going to fire off on me. I'll mix it up here real good. I'm not going to be adding any dye to it this time because I don't need it. You know, back in the olden days, we used to have a material called epoxy 2. That's what we used to join the center section of the wings together because it was a slow-drying 30-minute epoxy. It only had one big problem, is that once you glued the wings together, you had to seal that epoxy, that hobby epoxy 2. You had to seal it up because if you put polyester resin on top of it, the polyester resin would never cure. Now, bring my wing up here. Now we go to work. Now I'm just going to take this brush, I'm going to spread this all around. Get it down inside that weave real good. I want to work my epoxy down into all this the weave real good. Now, as you can see, I filled that glass up perfect with the resin. I've smeared it all out real good. I've got it completely filled, saturated to where I want it to be. All right, throw that brush away. Take a paper towel. Gonna lay it down over my glass. Kind of Let it soak up all that excess glass resin that I don't need. And there's a lot of it. All right, that's it. I just take off my tape. Throw it away. And we are looking good. Remember what I told you about the, you don't always need a lot of glue. Now, I don't know how many grams of epoxy I took off of there, but I know I took a few off. And that's how you center glass the center section of your wing. It's just that easy. Let it sit up, get cure out, and guess what? No hard sanding to do. If you've built wings in the past and used polyester resin, and then you sit there and you dread the part about having to sand it down smooth, this you don't have to sand. The fact is that I'll do the bottom of the wing exactly the same way, except I'll also put a strip out this way, out past the landing gear. Do the same exact thing, and then I will glass the wing and scrape it off with a razor blade, and then prime it, and I'll prime right on top of this. And when I'm through priming it, it'll look nice and slick. So that's it for today.